Hi, I'm Lorenzo. In this video, I'm going to show you some of my favorite free AUv3 effects to use in GarageBand. For those who don't know, there are these apps that you can download and integrate into GarageBand and most other mobile DAWs that'll allow you to use a certain effect or play a virtual instrument, much like a plugin that you would use in Ableton or Logic. For virtual instruments, it doesn't matter as much, and I'll show you why in a later video, but for effects, you're going to want to make sure that they're AUv3 compatible. Some you have to pay for, but there's a whole lot that you can download for free. So today I've picked out 4 AUv3 effects that I use most often, and I'm going to show you how they work by making a beat. I'm going to start with these drums that I made a couple days ago and just layer things on top. Now I'll add some bass. So the first free app that I'm going to use is LRC5, which is a visual EQ, and for this bass, I'll use it to remove most of the high frequencies and a bit of the lows. And this is what it sounds like with LRC5 on. Now GarageBand does come with its own stock EQ, but I feel like it gives you less flexibility with the edits that you can make. One advantage that it has over LRC5, however, is that it gives you a frequency spectrum analyzer, which can be helpful to watch for certain frequencies in the sound that you may want to cut or boost. What I find myself doing most of the time is using GarageBand's EQ for the spectrum analyzer, and then going and actually making the edits in LRC5. Next, I'm going to play some chords on a pad. I'm going to put LRC5 on this pad as well, along with the next free effect on my list, which is called Wider. And what Wider does, true to its name, is make things wider. For this pad, I want it to be spread out more to either side of the stereo field, as opposed to right down the middle, like the drums and bass. Next, I'm going to add in Arpeggio, playing the same notes as the chords. On the ARP, I've got LRC5 and Wider again, plus Tape Cassette 2, which is a really interesting plugin that does a whole bunch of things to really mess with your sound. And so here's what the ARP sounds like with Tape Cassette turned on and the bass movement preset selected, which is my favorite preset. And the fourth and final layer I'm going to add to show off the fourth and final AUv3 effect is a little lead keyboard, which sounds like this. On the lead sound, I've got all 3 of the previous plugins and DLO1, which is the final app that I'm going to talk about today. DLO1 is a delay effect, and I like it better than the GarageBand stock delay, simply because of the increased flexibility that it gives me. For example, I can choose whether or not I want to sync the delay time with the project tempo. I can change the left and right components of the delay independently, and I can even do a ping-pong delay, which is where the delay signal bounces back and forth between each ear. To demonstrate DLO1, I'm going to solo the lead so you can hear exactly what it's doing. So you can hear it just makes the sound so much more interesting and adds a lot of space. So those are 4 of my favorite free AUv3 effects. I use them in every project and I highly recommend you check them out. I'll put the links to LRC5, Wider, Tape Cassette 2, and DLO1 down in the description if you want to pick them up. Real quick, if you're interested in learning about even more free AUv3 effects, I'll put a link in the description to a video put out recently by the GarageBand guide. He talks about LRC5 and Wider as well, along with a few other apps that I didn't touch on in this video. The GarageBand guide is a great resource for all mobile music makers, and I would definitely recommend checking out his video and the others on his channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.